So who is Moon Knight, what is his story, and what do you need to know before watching his series on Disney+? In today's video, we'll answer all those questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Treetop Talks. I am Mad Drop Bear, and this is your channel for all things pop culture and nerd-centric. If you learned something and find this video informative, then drop a like and let me know in the comments below. It greatly helps me out and may direct this video towards someone that wants to learn more about Moon Knight. Thanks a bunch. Now let's get into it. The character Moon Knight first appeared in Werewolf by Night number 32 in 1975. He would go on to make numerous cameos over the years before finally getting his own solo comic run. While on a job in Egypt, Spectre and fellow mercenary Raoul Bushman have a massive falling out over the mission details. They shortly encounter a father-daughter duo on a dig site. Bushman wants to steal the treasures uncovered by the duo and leave them for dead. Spectre opposes. The fight that ensues leaves Spectre fatally wounded and left for dead. While his life fades, he finds himself at the base of a giant stone statue. The statue is shown to be the depiction of the moon god KHONSHU. KHONSHU. After rapidly healing and regaining consciousness, Spectre declares himself the avatar of KHONSHU's will, and thus takes up the mantle of the Moon Knight. After a short while, Spectre returns to NYC and meets up with a fellow mercenary under the alias Frenchie. Frenchie can best be summed up as the Lucius Fox to Moon Knight's Bruce Wayne. Over the years, Frenchie goes on to craft the majority of Moon Knight's equipment and vehicles. While in the Big Apple, Spectre is not without company. He later goes on to develop a love interest for Marlene Allron. Marlene may be familiar because she is the daughter of the father-daughter duo encountered in Egypt. Spectre saved his life while almost losing his own in the event that turned him into the Moon Knight, but unfortunately was unable to save her father. She ends up joining his crusade to fight crime in the Big Apple, and the two eventually marry. Mark Spector suffers from severe mental illness, specifically dissociative identity disorder, or DID. Throughout the course of his comic run, he takes on 3 unique identities, all different from the last. His first is Stephen Grant, millionaire, playboy, Wall Street banker by trade, and often seen socializing with New York's top 1%. His next is Jake Lockley, a humble cab driver that lives a modest life and does his best to stay out of the spotlight. And finally, Moon Knight, the Fist of Khonshu and the protector of the innocent. Over the years, Spectre's 3 identities begin to split until he can no longer decide which are real and which have been crafted. Piggybacking off Spectre's lost touch with reality, questions have always surrounded the existence of Khonshu. Is the moon god real, or is it just a figment of Spectre's reality and his DID? It's comics, so anything can exist, and we do in fact learn that the moon god is very real. It is revealed that Khonshu has known Spectre since the time he was a small child, and it is in fact his psychic connection with Spectre that ultimately leads to the brain damage that causes his DID. To further Khonshu's existence, numerous times through the comics, Spectre is knocking on death's door, and time again, Khonshu brings him back from the brink of death. While Moon Knight might not actually possess true superpowers, he does in fact show increased strength, speed, and stamina whose levels change with the phases of the moon. We do learn that Mark Spector has exceptional combat and martial arts skills from his time spent in the military. Regarding his arsenal of gadgetry, they seem to be very reminiscent of another caped crime fighter who also happens to be a millionaire playboy.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
His tools of the trade include smoke bombs, grappling hooks, Kevlar body armor, a gliding cape, a crescent moon-shaped hoverjet, and moon-shaped boomerangs.
My bats lost away.
That's frightened me.
Oscar Isaac's version of Mark Spector is not ex-military turned mercenary, but is instead a humble man who works in a London museum gift shop. Rather than partaking in the Egyptian heist, he is instead strangely drawn to the museum's Egyptian artifacts. From the trailer, we first see Spector addressed as his Stephen Grant persona. But this Grant does not seem to be a millionaire playboy, but instead more closely resembles his humble Jake Lockley counterpart. It's not clear from the trailer and what we've seen so far if we'll see all three of his identities or if we'll just see a flip-flop between Grant and Spectre. Let's talk villains. Ethan Hawke's character is set to play Andrew Harrow. In the comics, Harrow is portrayed as a mad scientist that is obsessed with pain research and ending pain in the human body. What we see in the trailer shows Harrow as more of a spiritual cult-like leader with mass amounts of influence. This seems more in line with a recent Moon Knight villain called the Sun King. The Sun King is basically the exact opposite of Moon Knight. He possesses powers related to solar energy and also serves a god. And you guessed it, that god is the god of the sun. The Sun King also suffers from mental illness, and in the comics is seen gathering a legion of followers that worship the Sun King. Hawke's villain looks like it is set to be a hybrid between Arthur Harrow and the Sun King. Guess we'll find out on March 30th when Moon Knight arrives on Disney+. So there you have it, a brief history on Moon Knight and what to expect from the newest hero to join the MCU. Remember, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like it, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.